If you're serious about historical survival knowledge, this is one topic that still shocks modern engineers. Medieval people didn't just build with wood, they engineered it to last for centuries under war, weather and neglect. Some of these preservation methods were so effective, they were later restricted or abandoned when their military value became too dangerous in the wrong hands. If this kind of deep, practical history matters to you, make sure you subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, like this video, and leave a comment with what era you want us to cover next. Now, let's get straight into it. How medieval builders preserved wood to outlast generations. Medieval preservation began long before construction. Timber was harvested in winter when sap levels were lowest, reducing internal moisture that causes rot. Logs were often left to season for years, not months, stacked off the ground with airflow on all sides. This alone dramatically increased lifespan. In fortifications, bridge supports and siege engines, builders understood that improperly dried wood was a liability, not a material. Why charring wood was one of the most powerful techniques ever used. Surface charring, known today as a precursor to the Japanese shosugi-ban, was widely used in medieval Europe. Beams were lightly burned, then brushed and sealed with oils or animal fats. The char layer repelled insects, resisted moisture penetration, and slowed fungal growth. Wooden palisades treated this way could stand for decades with minimal maintenance. For modern survivalists, controlled charring fence posts or shed supports before oiling them can double their lifespan in damp environments. How tar, pitch and resins turned wood into near-permanent material. Pine tar, birch tar and tree resins were heated and painted onto ships, gates, towers and siege equipment. These substances soaked deep into the grain, waterproofing the wood from the inside out. Medieval warships treated with tar could survive constant exposure to saltwater and combat damage. The same principle applies today when sealing tool handles, outdoor furniture or cabin beams using natural resins instead of modern chemicals. One of the most counterintuitive medieval practices was actually burying wooden structures or keeping them submerged. Wood kept underwater or underground, away from oxygen, resists decay remarkably well. Entire medieval bridges used submerged oak pilings that, believe it or not, still exist today. In modern applications, storing spare lumber off the ground and protected from airflow during long-term storage can really reduce cracking and insect damage. These techniques made siege towers, fire-resistant battering rams harder to destroy and fortifications nearly impossible to rot out. In later periods, authorities discouraged or restricted certain treatments because they prolonged military assets too effectively, especially when fire was the primary weapon against wooden defences. Preservation became a strategic issue, not just a building choice. So, how can you apply medieval methods today without modern chemicals? Well, season wood longer than recommended by commercial standards. Char and oil outdoor structural wood. Use natural tar or linseed oil blends for weatherproofing. Store lumber elevated and protected from oxygen exposure. These methods require time, not technology, and that's exactly why they worked for centuries. This is the kind of forgotten knowledge Warfield Prepper Chronicles exists to preserve. If this added real value to your understanding of historical engineering and survival, subscribe to the channel, share this with fellow historians, and leave a comment to keep this research alive.